Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top tips on how I am self-learning Korean, but of course you can apply this to any language that you wanted to learn. I've been using these methods for about a few months now and they seem to be working for me, so hopefully they'll work out for you as well. And the first resource that I started using when learning Korean was Duolingo, so I'll introduce it to you first. It's basically this app that teaches you language in a very manageable and fun way. So there's a lot of characters and they'll often say phrases that they want you to repeat back, and then you can type stuff and practice that way. You can also get it on your phone as well. I prefer using it on my phone when I'm going out because even when I want to meet up with my friends or I'm going to work or something, I can get a quick lesson in and it doesn't take a long time at all. It literally takes probably about 5 minutes per each lesson, and it's really good because you can do it on the go. You can also pay for it if you want. I'm currently using the free version and it works pretty well. The app also motivates you to learn by making you keep up a streak, so it basically makes you do a lesson every day, and you can also compete on a leaderboard so you can see how other people are also doing, and it kind of motivates you to learn a bit more as well. Alright, so now I'm going to introduce you to a product that I recently started using to help me when learning Korean, and that is this translator pen by the brand NEWYES. So this is how it looks when you turn it on and you come face to face with this screen with loads of different options that basically allow you to do different things. I find that this pen works best when it's connected to the internet because then it allows you to use all the features that the device has to offer. So one of the main benefits of this pen is that it's got so many languages installed inside. So it comes with 4 that are pre-installed, that are basically offline languages, so you don't need the internet to access them. But you can also choose from the 112 languages they have to offer when you connect to the internet, so it allows you to speak to the pen and then it will translate it straight off, and also you can scan text and it will show you as well. 안녕하세요 여러분.
Hi everyone.
Another way that I use the device is to use the reading function. I find this is so helpful, especially when reading skincare packaging and stuff like this, because I tend to find that the vocab is usually a bit more complex than what I've already been learning so far. So using the pen allows me to learn more words that I previously didn't know about.
제품명, 클리어스마치 혼응 효과, 상처 부위, 환부 등의 분비 울음수密도.
It works best when it's moved in a straight line across the page and has 98% accuracy rate.
흡수하여 스푼 환경을 유해 외부 오염물 제과.
It can also recognize complex fonts, difficult words and symbols, as it reads 3,000 characters a minute.
Invisible intensive spot patch.
Another really good feature of this device is that you can create recordings and listen to them later on. So I find this especially helpful when you want to see how your accent has changed. You can also create text files like this as well, and since it's got an OCR text scanner, it's very accurate and it just writes exactly what you want it to. Another reason why the pen is really good is because it caters to all types of accents for the same language. So I think this is especially useful because with English in the UK compared to English in USA, it's pretty different, especially with the spellings and how it's said and things as well. So I find it really good because you can find the one that fits you the best, so you can really improve how you learn. It's also got a 2.98-inch screen which protects your eyes, and also a really long battery life and 8 GB of memory. Hello, I'm learning Korean, and hopefully the tips that I share with you in this video are useful for you when learning different languages as well. So as you can see, it records what I'm saying very quickly and it's very accurate as well. I would definitely recommend it to you as an investment if you travel a lot or if you want to learn a lot of languages. Hello, I'm learning Korean, and hopefully the tips that I share with you in this video are useful for you when learning different languages as well. The next thing I do is kind of like blurting out all the Korean on a page. So I don't do this every day, but I typically do it when I'm learning new vocab. So to make sure I get the spelling right, or just to practice writing the letters as well. My spelling is like really bad. I'll try and write stuff and then I'll see I spelt it wrong. So it's good that I can go back and practice again and again until I do get the spelling right. Another really good free resource is YouTube. YouTube has so many Korean lessons and Korean teachers teaching us Korean. There was this video that I watched last year when I was first learning the alphabet. I think it was by Miss Vicky, and she basically taught us the whole alphabet in a really easy way, and she taught us ways to remember the letters and how we could remember it with like English as well. And I also learned these through her video as well, so I'll leave it in the description box if you want to check it out. And it basically taught me how to read Korean, like you can go across and then down, or you can go straight down. It just depends on how the word is written. And when I started learning Korean, I would write down the English type of way to say it around, so I'd know how to say it, but now I can just read it without the need for those because I've been practicing for a while. The next thing I want to talk about is, again, the alphabet, but it's the different ways to write different letters. So this is quite similar to the English alphabet as well. There are multiple ways to write the same letter. So here I'm just showing you some examples just so that you know that there are different ways to write the same thing and it means the same thing. So I just wrote a few down that I remembered at the top of my head, and making sure that I knew both ways of writing a certain letter was definitely helpful, because when I started using different resources, different books and things had different ways of writing the letters, so I was still able to realise that's what they were talking about. So I would definitely recommend you to make sure you know if there are different ways a certain letter can be written. So a difference between Korean and English alphabet is that in the Korean alphabet there's no capital letters as such as we have in the English alphabet. So I just thought it was quite useful for me to write this down so I would know, and I think it's also great for you to know as well. Another thing I would recommend you to do is to have a book dedicated just to learning your language. This book is quite thick. I got it from the Works a few years ago and it's still got space, and I'm also using a Muji notebook at the same time. So I've got the massive book to write all my Duolingo vocab, and this book to write in the vocab from a different book that I got. So this book is really good because it's got loads of vocab, like it says, 2,000 words. When I'm writing it in my book, I will first write it down in like a black biro, and then I'll keep practicing it. And when I'm confident that I actually know the word, I'll highlight it, so I know that the highlighted words are words that I've already covered and that I already know. So that makes me realise I need to focus on the words that are not highlighted. This is also similar to the Excel spreadsheet I was using when doing Duolingo at the same time. You can highlight the boxes on Excel spreadsheet so you know when you've learned a word or a phrase, and then you don't need to worry about it again until maybe months later when you want to revise it. If you're going to be learning a language, I think it's really important if you can get the language downloaded on a keyboard format, either on your phone or on your laptop or whatever. So I've got it on both. I've got it on my phone and also my laptop, and here you can see I'm just typing. I am a bit slow at typing in Korean because I don't use the keyboard too often, so I'm still not too familiar with where each of the letters are, but I find it really useful when I want to quickly search up something on Instagram or on Google about something in Korea. That would make more sense to type it in Korean rather than typing in English. And also this is how I've got it on my Mac. I'm just showing you how I kind of got the Korean keyboard. So I'm using the 3-set Korean keyboard, and if you use the shift key, it makes it go to Korean keyboard, and then if you click the shift again, it goes back to English keyboard. So it's really useful because if I want, I can type stuff up on my laptop too. And I just find it useful because sometimes you just want to write something in the language that you're learning rather than just trying to write it in an English version. So I think it really helps a lot with that. This is the video that I first used when I was learning Batchim, and that's basically how to read Korean, but the last letter of each set of letters or word, because it's said kind of differently. So I think this video is also really useful too. I'll leave it in the description for you to have a look at. And another thing I would recommend, which is very fun, is to watch a lot of Korean YouTubers and Korean vloggers. So this is Serity. She's literally my favourite Korean vlogger. She always does like food vlogs, and I also really like Plan D. She also does a lot of food vlogs, and I think she also does a lot of like fashion design. She makes her own clothes and bags and things like that. So I really like watching their videos. And of course watching K-dramas, eating Korean food and drinks and stuff. I bought that from Oseo. It's this Korean grocery store in London. And I would also watch a lot of K-pop and learn the dances and try and learn the lyrics of the song, look the lyrics up after and see if I can read them myself. And turtle chips are so good. They are so delicious, and I can't believe we don't really have them readily available in London that much unless you go to the Korean grocery store. So I would say definitely immerse yourself in the culture if you can, and that will just make it more enjoyable for you as well. And that concludes today's video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys!